ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get started in about 2 minutes. We were prepared to start at 2:30, but we was trying to let a lot of the family members and guests get here, and so we're gonna start in about 2 to 3 minutes. So if you can just hold tight. Thank you.
Graduates, can you please stand up for me? Okay. Just want everybody to see how beautiful you guys are today. Now you all may be seated. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Awesome, awesome. On behalf of the students, faculty, and staff of Maya Angelou Young Adult Learning Center, welcome to our Spring 2021 commencement. To the graduates, a few days as unique as today will happen in a lifetime. And as we begin this ceremony, I want you to breathe deeply and enjoy this moment that you earned. And tonight, dream in vivid colors of all the possibilities that await you. Family and supporters of the graduates, earning a high school credential is not easy. As you participate in this ceremony, you deserve to take great pride in your graduate as they cross this stage today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the director of the YLC. He's originally from Cincinnati, Ohio, and has been working in the education arena for 24 years now. He has been with the YLC since 2016, and since then we have seen amazing new heights. Without further ado, please welcome Dr. Sean Benign Israel.
Thank you very much, Ms. Morgan, for the nice introduction. Before we continue with this ceremony, I just want to go over a few housekeeping things so that we can have a crisp and concise ceremony. First, I want to let all the guests know that over here to the right, we have the lavatories over here, so if you want to use the restroom or whatever, you can handle that over there. Also, this ceremony is being streamed live from our website, and is going to be recorded and posted on YouTube. So if you have any guests or family members that wasn't able to make it today, you can also go to YouTube and you can watch the ceremony later at your convenience. All right. Also, after the ceremony, if you go straight to the back, we have food for the graduates and all of the guests. And over here into the back left corner, there's a photo booth that we have so you guys can take pictures of your family members with all the graduates. And these pictures from the photo booth are printed out right then and there. You can take those pictures home with you. And the last housekeeping item is to the back corners. There's plenty of hand sanitizers and things, so we're still under COVID policies and regulations, so we practicing social distancing. We have hand sanitizer in the back, and even the food is packed up individually from a caterer so that everybody can enjoy a nice meal without having to worry about those type of sanitary things. All right, so with that being said, we're here to celebrate the graduates, so give everybody a round of applause. Yes, thank you, all the graduates. Also, I would like for you to give the graduates, give the round of applause to your parents and family members and advocates and support, and your teachers and people who supported you along this journey. Come on, give it up to them, because you guys didn't get here by yourself. Yes, thank you. All right, so there's a lot I can say about this particular class here. It is a small class, but they're still mighty in a lot of spirit, a lot of hope, and I believe that each one of them has the resilience and the tools to make it in the future. And for those that don't know, the Young Adult Learning Center is a school where students can come back and get their GED or workforce credential. And so what most people don't realize is that in order to come back to school at a later age, in your 20-somethings or even longer or older, it takes a lot of resilience. It takes a lot of commitment. And to not have done it the first time around, or to whatever experiences that you might have had that didn't allow you to finish high school, to make that decision and come back and actually achieve their goal, it says a lot. And I'm proud of all of you guys for doing that. So I'll give you a round of applause for that. Okay, so these folks here that are graduates today, they successfully completed all 4 sections of the GED test, and we're going to honor their achievements today. And so before I leave the podium, I want to say that, you know, I have a story and fond memories of each and every one of you guys. I want you guys to remember that, you know, it starts here. You know, even though you might have had some setbacks, some bumps and bruises, and some, you know, obstacles that came in the way previously, you guys are still young. You still have your youth. You still have time in front of you. So please make this day count moving forward. You can still achieve and do anything that you desire, and you have the tools within you to achieve anything that you want. So just stay focused, stay dedicated, and you guys will achieve whatever goals that you set for yourself. And you always know that you always have a family here at the Young Adult Learning Center, and you have support here. And so please remember that as you move forward. So I thank you guys for coming. You could have been anywhere in the world today, but you're here with us, and we thank you. And also, one last thing before I step down. Parents and family members, you will not be able to approach the stage, all right? You got to take your pictures from afar, and we're going to have plenty of pictures and everything to share, plus a photo booth, because our security team, they like Death Row in the 90s. And so y'all remember Death Row Records and Suge Knight? Yeah, you don't want to approach the stage, trust me, okay? So, y'all laughing, but I'm serious. So, with that being said, let's have a good ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Israel, for that introduction. Now we'll be moving into our student testimonies. Our students have persevered through this entire academic year, and they have many testimonies to tell us about. So first, we're going to start with Miss Amir Parks. Give it up to Amir Parks.
Hello. I'm a little shy, but I wrote down a little stuff, a little something, something. Good afternoon, family, friends, advocates, and my fellow classmates. I just want to say, we did it, y'all. We did it. And I'm proud of every last one of y'all. I know it's only a little, but, you know, we did it. But this feeling is bittersweet because I honestly didn't think I would walk across a stage, like, at all, like, in my life. Like, this is just bittersweet. I'm so sorry, I'm shy and I'm getting emotional, but back in 2019 when I came from Arkansas, I moved here. You know, it was supposed to be a new start. I started off on a bad track. I was going here, but I wasn't going to each class like I was supposed to. You know, I was skipping school, and Doc was snitching on me to my folks, so I couldn't, I couldn't do what I want for too long. But I just want to say, I'm sorry. But so long story short, I was on a bad track. Like, but this beginning of 2021, the pandemic, it really changed everything. Like, I was in the house 24/7, depressed. You know, like, wasn't taking my medicine, going through things. You know, a lot of people go through things, but I was going through it, like really going through it, and I didn't want to go to school. You know, but I was like, I'm gonna cut everybody off. That's what I did. 2021, New Year's, cut everybody off, even my own mama. I don't care. If you don't respect me and you don't care about my dreams, I don't care about you. So that's what I did. In a matter of 2 months, I passed all 4 tests that I could have been did, but I sabotaged myself. I really did. I could have been finished, but you know, my head was in it, but my heart wasn't in it. But I did it. Thank you. I'm sorry it was so short, but thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Parks, for that testimony. It was definitely amazing. Almost had me over there crying. So the next student we have will be Miss Paris Merkerson. Woo!
All right, how y'all doing? I feel like Mr. Mira Parks. I don't do this. I want to say good afternoon, ladies and gents. I'm sorry, I'm scared, y'all. I went into this program not knowing how or if I was going to come out on top. During the 14 months, yes, 14 months, off and on, inside of this program, I was hit with tremendous loss, starting with my motivation, my mom, my granddad, and my uncle, all the while battling depression and experiencing homelessness. But through it all, I managed to get, on this stage right here in front of all you beautiful people. And I didn't get here alone at all. Like, I didn't get here by myself. I had help from my wonderful teachers. Number one, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson stayed on me. He was like a grandfather. He was like, girl, you better take that test. And he scheduled me for tests at least 6 or 7 times, y'all, and I never went, and he never gave up on me. He kept on me constantly. Dr. Israel called, Miss Wade, everybody was on me. All of my teachers, my classmates even told me how much how much they valued me and how much I was actually like, definitely I was like I want to say, somebody you can look up to, but I felt like worthless. I'm like, how you look up to me when I can't even finish a dang on test? But I was able to do it and finally stayed on track. I thank my 2 little humans, Ronee and RJ, he back there crying, excuse him. And my amazing life partner back there. So I'm here now on this stage as a graduate with a diploma, a better person, a better mom. Thank you all. Mama, I made it. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? All right. They say the first thing that goes when you get a little older are the eyes. So give me a moment. There, now I can see. All right. I come to you this afternoon, a proud individual. I'm about to share some awards with the students based on the achievements. Forgive me if I get a little emotional. Right now I'm not, but I can get a little emotional. So don't y'all laugh, all right? So we're going to start off. First award is the Principal's Award. The Principal's Award is for academic achievement and academic leadership. It's a 3-way tie with this. Our first recipient, Ms. Paris Murkison. You want to meet her? Meet her half? Yeah, you don't want no accidents. Yes, Paris. All right. Yes, yes, yes. Second recipient. Ready for this one? Mr. Rasef Wright. We have another recipient. This young man is one of the reasons why my beard is so gray. Okay, but we did this. We did this. Mr. Noah Sharp. Noah. All right. Our next award is our Perseverance Award. This award is going to the person that exhibited fortitude. She already shared part of her story, but many of you don't know the whole story. However, she continued to persevere. She continued to move forward, even though I stayed on top of her, said, you better get to school, better take those exams. She did it. And that goes to Ms. Paris Murkison. Our next award, and I know I got on this young man's last nerve to the last moment of the last test. This is the Most Improved Award. This gentleman, we always knew that he had something special inside of him. And it took a moment for him to realize that, but he did it. So the Most Improved Award will go to Mr. Justice Rosser. He's really happy, everybody, okay? He really is. He's really happy, all right. The next award is the Rising Star Award. This individual succeeded above all challenges. She already told you part of the story, and she got off to a rough start, following some of the wrong people. She knows who I'm talking about. However, she managed to succeed. And like she said, she had to cut everyone off, and she did so. And when she cut everyone off, she decided that it was time for her to achieve her diploma. So the Rising Star Award will go to Ms. Amira Parks. All right, moving right along. We have an award called the My Way Award. The My Way Award is given to the student that showed leadership, commitment, and determination. And that student, who caused my beard to turn gray, is no one other than Mr. Noah Sharp. Moving along, there are some awards that we do give out for subjects, academic achievement in the 4 subject areas: science, social studies, language arts, and math. The first award, given for the highest passing score in the area of science, goes to Mr. Kyrie Turner. Next, the highest achievement in the area of social studies. Let's give him a big round of applause, Mr. Justice Rosser. In the area of language arts, this young lady, her score was out of control. It was off the chain, off the charts. No one other than Ms. Jamola Clark. Y'all can't hear me out here? Oh, they can hear me. Y'all can't hear me. Don't go anywhere, Ms. Clark. Come on back. Come on back. Okay? Stand right here. Not only did she receive the award, Highest Achievement Award in Language Arts, she received the Highest Achievement Award in Math as well. Here's another very proud moment for me. We have 2 salutatorians. These 2 gentlemen were literally tied, literally, down to the last point they were tied. One young man I worked with last year, he didn't have a lot of confidence in himself, and we all kept telling him that he's going to be successful, that he's going to do quite well. The other young man was a sleeper. I told Dr. Israel, this young man's a sleeper. People aren't paying attention to him, but he's going to come in here, he's going to knock each test out, and he did that. The first person we're going to give the award to is Mr. Rasef Wright. Oh, you have something to say, Mr. Rasef?
Excuse me 1 second. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming today. My name is Rasef Wright. Before coming to my Angelou, I spent time in alternative learning environments, being homeschooled, and even no school at times. When I first came here, I felt as though I wasn't as prepared as I needed to be, but that soon changed as I was welcomed with the support I didn't know I needed. Throughout my entire time here, my teacher's first interest was making sure that I graduated, making sure that I passed my classes, and was doing what needed to be done. Through the work of my teachers giving me the information I needed and the work of myself for using the information correctly, I have been able to graduate and put this part of my life behind me. After leaving here, I plan on college for next year, and for the years to come, I pray for continued success and happiness in whatever it is I'm doing. Thank you.
The next individual, Mr. Kyrie Turner.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kyrie Turner, and I'm 17 years old. I'm honored to be one of this year's 2 salutatorian for this YALC. Honestly, standing here today graduating is an eye-opener for me because it just makes me believe that I could achieve anything that I put my effort into. Just a few months before I enrolled into my Angelou, I didn't even think I was going to graduate at all, especially now with my right class of 2021. First, I want to thank my mom and my sister and my grandma for believing in me the whole way when it felt like it was no one else. Also, I want to thank Mr. Anderson for supporting me all the time and helping me have more confidence in myself when it comes to school or just trying to achieve anything. I want to thank Ms. Wade for being supportive through the process, and also I want to thank Ms. Genty for helping take her time one-on-one so I could be standing here today. I'm proud of everyone who walked across this stage, including myself, because I know it wasn't easy for most of us, but we did it, and that goes to show everything is possible if you want it bad enough. Again, thank you to my friends and family for having my back. Everyone else who came out today on behalf of anyone in this 2021 class. Appreciate you all for helping me close one book and begin my journey.
So you can hold it for now. The next award goes to the individual with the highest academic score of the entire year. This young lady is amazing. I had an opportunity to speak with her a few times. She came in here with a level of maturity that I had not seen in quite some time. She was focused. She was determined. And without saying anything more about her, because get a little emotional, Miss Jamala Clark.
I would like to start off by thanking God and my family for motivating me to come on this path. I would also like to thank all the teachers and staff at the Young Adult Learning Center for having so much patience with me and meeting me exactly where I was. I think all the students here can agree that at least one faculty member has changed their life in some way. I want to give a special thanks to Mrs. Genty for believing in me from day one and always checking on me even outside of school. When my son was sick, she would call to see how he was doing. I am so blessed to have Mrs. Genty as one of my teachers. When I first decided I would go back to school, I thought it would take years. I was nervous, and I thought the process would take forever. I had already enrolled in 4 different GED programs prior to enrolling at the YALC, but they didn't work out well for me. Mrs. Bryant, who is now Mrs. Goodwin, always broke her math class into groups, and each group allowed students to work at their own pace. No student ever felt rushed or left behind. This brought me so much comfort because I knew that if I didn't get it, she would work with me until I did. I didn't understand science or social studies at all, but Mr. Steve was patient with me. If a student didn't understand something, he would provide the resources and help you understand the material, even after class. 4 years ago, before I had any of my kids, I would always say that I would never finish high school, nevertheless attend college. However, when I saw how smart my son was and saw how much he would accomplish in this world, my mind was changed. At such a young age, he had such an imagination, the same type that I used to have. It reminded me that I used to believe that I could do anything I wanted to. I decided to apply to the YALC, but because of my own fear, I didn't even expect that it would work out. After the first week, however, seeing how well I was doing motivated me even more. 5 years ago, I was on the streets as a runaway and high school dropout with no worries and no responsibilities. I had no care in the world. Today, I am a mother, a fiance. I work at an assisted living facility as a certified nursing assistant, and I am a soon-to-be college student. I want both of my children to learn that delayed does not mean denied. Whether you are graduating at 16 or 26, you can still chase your dreams. Don't allow anyone, including yourself, to tell you what you cannot do. You can do anything you want. You just have to believe it first. If I could start believing in myself, you can too. Congratulations, class of 2021.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our valedictorian. Give her another round of applause. Next, I'm going to bring to the podium Dr. Israel. He has a prestigious award that he wants to share with everybody.
All right, thank you, Bruce. First, I would like to thank all of the YLC staff members. You guys are a very dynamic group of employees. You are an asset to the See Forever organization and Maya Angelou Public Charter Schools. And like I said, I've been, like Ms. Morgan said earlier, I've been in education for over 24 years now. And I can say that this is one of the most dynamic staff that I've had the pleasure of working with. And so I just want to acknowledge all of you guys right now. But for right now, at this very moment, we're going to acknowledge our Teacher of the Year. And our Teacher of the Year is selected. We let all of our graduates and potential graduates, we have a cohort of graduates every year, and our cohort was a lot bigger when we first started. And by the time they took all their tests and things of that nature, we had the actual graduates here. But we had a cohort of graduates, and we allowed them to pick the Teacher of the Year every year, and they take a vote. And once we tally all the votes, and that's the person who we select as our Teacher of the Year. And so this year, I want to say that the person that we're going to have as Teacher of the Year has served in various capacities. In many ways, he went above and beyond the call of duty in order to serve students, whether it been extra tutoring, whether it's to fill in for teachers that were absent, to advocate for students for testing or help them get IDs. No matter what the situation was, this particular teacher was there for our students in various capacities. And so before I give his name, I want to read this out loud. I promised his wife that I would share this. And since I'm a man of my word, I'm going to go ahead and say this. All right. She said, "You and the Maya family have done an amazing job. I have a small favor. I know Steve will be getting recognized this evening, and unfortunately, I cannot be there due to our other graduation. But could you please, if possible, give him this message on stage? We are so proud of you and the amazing job that you do as teacher. You strive for excellence every day, day in and day out. Although COVID-19 was challenging, it was a blessing in disguise because we were able to see you in action and the amazing rapport you have with your students and the Maya team and your Maya teammates. We love you." So with that being said, because we love you too, this year's Teacher of the Year is none other than Mr. Stephen Johns. Please come to the stage.
I can just say I appreciate you guys. You guys make me want to come to work. This is not it's not something I need to do. I want to be here every single day. I love this organization. I love everybody up here, for real. Doc, greatest leader that I've had, all the way up top. Miss Bryant, everybody. Miss Genty. Miss Genty, I tell you what, I honestly, I don't know why I'm standing up here. Everybody, our whole entire group should be up here. We really should. It's just this, I just want to go ahead and share one message with you guys. I'm thrown off guard, and I'm kind of nervous. I'm not normally put in this predicament, but I'm a little bit nervous. But I just want you guys to keep on taking these experiences that you have, recognize the blessings in every single experience that you have, broaden your perspectives, recognize your opportunities, and just go for them. Just don't stop. Just go for it, man. It's like it's right there in front of you. Take them. Take them. And I appreciate you guys' votes and everything, but like I said, it wasn't for my colleagues, I don't know what I'd be doing, but I appreciate you guys. Like I said, one love, appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to bring to you our keynote speaker. Prior to bringing him to the podium, I'm going to share his biography with you. Dr. Victor R. McCrary is the Vice President for Research and Graduate Programs at the University of the District of Columbia. Prior to this position, he was Vice Chancellor for Research at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. And before that, the first Vice President for Research and Economic Development at Morgan State University. He is a change agent and serial innovator responsible for developing a comprehensive research strategy, fostering cross-disciplinary research, expanding research programs via engagement with federal and state agencies, increasing the university's intellectual property portfolio, and positioning Morgan State as Maryland's public urban research university. Previously, he was the business area executive for science and technology at the Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Laboratory, where he directed investments totaling over $60 million for basic and applied research projects targeted for national security and space applications. In 2005, Dr. McCrary was selected to the rank of Principal Professional Staff at the Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Laboratory. He is a former national president of the National Organization for the Professional Advancement of Black Chemists and Chemical Engineers, and a fellow of the American Chemical Society. He has authored or co-authored over 60 technical papers and co-edited 2 books in his career at AT&T Bell Laboratories and the National Institute of Standards and Technology. He is blessed to have received a number of honors and awards during his career, including Most Promising Black Engineer in 1990, co-recipient of the U.S. Department of Commerce Gold Medal in 2000, the 2002 National Organization for the Professional Advancement of Black Chemists and Chemical Engineers Percy Julian Award. In 2005, he was featured in Science Spectrum magazine as one of the top 50 minorities in science and elected to the 2007 DVD Association's Hall of Fame. In 2011, he was honored as Scientist of the Year by the annual Black Engineer of the Year Award STEM Conference. In 2015, he received the Alumni Award for Research Excellence from the Catholic University of America and Distinguished Alumni Award by Howard University in 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and please welcome Dr. Victor McCrary.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's not all true what he said, but first of all, I want to say on behalf of President Ronald Mason Jr., President of the University of the District of Columbia, and our faculty, staff, and our students, thank you for having us here. I also want to thank Dr. Israel, Dr. Mendoza-Davis, and Ms. Lamb, wherever you are. Oh, yes, thank you for being here. And also, I want to congratulate to all the grads and the faculty and students here. And plus, I want to say to everybody, happy Juneteenth holiday. So I could give you the normal speech and talk about a lot of science and all the things that are out there, but I wanted to ask you this one question to everybody here. How many had a cup of coffee this morning or a glass of tea? Just raise your hand. All right, how many had a bowl of cereal or something this morning? Okay. How many had a Coca-Cola or something like that you had soda? Or how many put some sugar in anything you had, that coffee or tea? That's okay. Come on out. You can say it. Now, I'm here to tell you, did you know there was a black man in your coffee cup? Did you know? Yeah. There's a black man in your coffee cup. Because you know that sugar that you put in your iced tea or your hot tea or your coffee or, you know, I don't go to Starbucks because I don't believe in paying more for a cup of coffee than a gallon of gas. but I know a lot of y'all young folks do, that there was a black man named Norbert Rillieux back in the 1800s. And the way they used to make sugar, and that's why we have Juneteenth holiday, is slaves used to have to take the cane, and they had to basically heat it at very high temperatures, okay, and then wait for it to evaporate, and they get the crystals that were the sugar, okay? In a lot of cases, many slaves were maimed, harmed, and died. They called it the Jamaica train process, okay, because that's where it originated. But Norbert Rillieux, who was a black man, said there's got to be a better way to make sugar without having to harm ourselves. So he came up with a way, what they call a two-stage evaporator. And I'm here from DC, but I don't know if you've ever been to Baltimore. For some of you, there's a Domino sugar plant there. And when you go there, that way they make sugar is the same process that Norbert Rillieux came up with well over 100 years ago. Now, I heard there were some people here who got some awards in numbers, mathematics. I'm old school, we call it numbers, all right? But did you know there was a black woman in those numbers? Did you know that? Yeah. Her name was Euphemia Haynes. And she got a degree at the University of the District of Columbia in the 50s. And now, it wasn't called UDC. But did you know she was the first black woman to get a PhD in mathematics in the United States? So next time you're counting those numbers, there's a black woman in those numbers. And the next time you get a cup of coffee, I want you to know there's a black man in your coffee cup. All right? Remember when you look down now, there's a black man, there's a brother there. Okay? Now, the reason why am I bringing this up? Because you are the ones. Because in all this thing, what we're seeing right now in this day and age, it's all about science, technology, engineering, math, healthcare, IT. Even the humanities. It's extremely important. And there are jobs for everybody there. If you listen to the president, about a month ago, he talked about blue-collar jobs. We need everybody from electricians, plumbers, researchers, mathematicians, healthcare folks. I don't care whether you're just out of high school, you have a GED, you have a bachelor's degree, or you're a PhD. You are the ones, okay? They need you right now. And there's good jobs out there. You know, at UDC, we have an aviation maintenance program. And I can take a young lady like you or a young man like yourself who don't know the difference between a flathead screwdriver and a Phillips head screwdriver, and in 2 years you can get a certificate working on aircraft engines starting at $75,000 a year. That's good money where I come from, all right? And then what will happen is if you work hard enough, because I understand, young lady, you got a parcel full of awards down there, so I know you work hard. You know, your employer will come to you and say, you know, I want you to get up. I don't want you working on the ground. I want you to go back to school, and I'll give you a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. And you know what? I'm going to pay for it. So there's great opportunity out there. Now, I know, because you are the ones. Now, I know you probably stop and say, well, Dr. McCrary, how's that so? Some of my students, they just call me Dr. V. Why do you think I could be the one? Now, I'm going to tell you why I think you can be the one. Because I'm going to say firsthand, I stood in your shoes. I was born in the District of Columbia. When I was born, the city was segregated. My parents met in the Army during the Korean War. My mother was black, my father was white. We lived in Northeast. We grew up in Northeast DC. He was stationed in Virginia, and I only see him on the weekends because we couldn't live together because they had miscegenation laws, okay? And sometimes when he would come home, he'd come home with bruises on his face because the MPs would beat him up because he was married to a black woman. I had to go to DC. I went to DC public schools for the first 6 years. And back then, some of the teachers there didn't have high expectations. They're not like these teachers who sit across the stage here or these teachers who sit out here. Because I came home one day, and they said, my mother said, so what do you learn? I said, you know, the teacher told me I was pretty bright. She said, yeah. So I said, yeah. She told me I could be a janitor. Now, my mother was from Philadelphia. and she was only 5'2". But you know how black mothers can be. So she went down to the lady. She said, "Ma'am, I need to tell you one thing. You got to be careful what you say to kids, because they have, they're really impressionable, And to tell my son that he could grow up and be a janitor is not acceptable. He could be anything long as he work hard." Now, of course, I'm talking to the parents here. Of course, after she talked to that teacher, my mother went ghetto on her, and I can't repeat what she said to her. But I will tell you this, I never had any problems from them teachers like that again, okay? Because it's important, because then my mother said, "You're going to be the one." Now, I went to summer camp, came home after 2 weeks, and my mother was standing in the door. She was crying, and I said, "Mom, what's going on?" She said, "Your daddy died." I was 8 years old. He had a heart attack at 43. And after I kind of got over the shock of that, she said, "You're going to have to be the one. You got a sister and brother. You got responsibilities. I hear some of you all have children right now. So you have to be the ones." Okay? And my mother had to try to make it herself, because they had just bought a house. They had no insurance and no money, so we didn't have heat for 2 years. Okay? But there was a lady up the street who had 13 kids. Okay? And they worked hard. They delivered newspapers. Back then it was the Washington Star, the Post, and Daily News. And they went over to my mom and said, "Don't worry, we're going to help you in the community. Y'all going to be the one." And the reason I say that about community out to you all, because if these are the ones, you got to be the ones that also help them along. You got to be the ones that are going to encourage them. And I also remember my mother would take us to my grandmother. They lived in Philly. None of those folks had any education. They were all maids. They were all laborers. But I never Christmas, I look up and they stand around and say, "You're going to be the one. You're going to be the one. You're going to be the one. You're going to be the one." And when my mother got back out of the Army, she was working over DC General and NIH, and they didn't want to give her any money, the high pay, because she didn't have a bachelor's degree in nursing. Because that's what they did. They recruited all these black women to go work in the Army during the Korean War. But when they got out, they didn't have degrees, and they didn't want to give them the pay. These are people working on the battlefields. But you know what my mom did? And I was very inspired by your story, young lady, and all of your stories. She said, "Okay, y'all want to play that game? We're going to do that." So she went to school at night to get her bachelor's degree. And I will say, at 44 years later, she got her bachelor's degree in nursing. Okay? And I remember I was 14. I was helping her with her classes. I said, "Mom, you got to be the one. You got to be the one." Because in the neighborhood I grew up in Northeast right now, over at Lamont Riggs, 75% of the guys that I grew up with are either dead, locked up, or strung out. All right? But I had friends and neighbors who would say, "You're going to be the one." Now, my story ain't quite just finished, because I know y'all want to get to the food, and I don't want to stand between you. But then I went to high school. And I went to high school, we said the Pledge of Allegiance, and I got up there, and this is 1972, and I said, "With liberty and justice for a chosen few." Because I knew the system wasn't working right. But you know what they did? Even though I had the grades, they didn't give me my high school diploma. I didn't get my high school diploma until 23 years later. So I had to go, but we didn't have the internet. I had already got admitted to college, so they didn't know about that. But then this teacher, this white teacher there, he busted down on me and said, "You got a student here that doesn't have a high school diploma." Now, I thought that was some rotten stuff, okay? But this is where relationships count. You know what the dean did? The dean said, "You know what? I know you. You worked with my son. Marion Barry gave you a job to work in a summer program here, and God bless Marion Barry, because he helped a lot of us come through. And I had a summer job that Marion Barry had. And he says, I'm going to tell you what I want you to do. We can't admit people here who don't have high school diplomas, but I'll tell you what you do. You go down to Phelps Vocational, and you get enrolled there and get a GED. And if you can go to classes here and day and go to classes at night, get your GED, I'm okay. So I went, and I got my GED. because I wasn't going to let them hold me back. And so, and then the rest is history, because, you know, you all the ones. You all have to tell them you're the ones, and you all are the ones, and you're the ones. They have to keep them going. Because as Moms Mabel used to say, ain't nothing jumping but the peas in the pot. They wouldn't be jumping at the water, whatnot. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? So we all have to come together as community. And I'm going to give you all some homework, because I know you got your GED and you're saying, well, wait a minute, no more homework, I'm ready to move on. But I want you to remember 3 things to just think about. And this is what helped me get through growing up in Northeast, growing up with a single mom and trying to make it. And Mom, God bless you. 1, when you wake up every day, think about what your purpose is. Now, you have a lot of people talk about passion, but I don't agree with that, because right now I have a passion for a quarter pounder with cheese. But that's not important. What's important is your purpose. Like, my purpose is to create an eminent cadre of people of color in science and technology until the day I die. All right? So think about what your purpose is every time you get up. And then when you get up, think about something you can learn, because every day you can learn something. Even when I get up, I try to learn something. I even talk to my kids. I mean, I saw y'all do that thing with the phones. Next time, I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to learn how to do that. There's something everybody can learn. That keeps you going. And then finally, what my grandmother, what my cousins, my mom, my teachers, my mentors always taught me was to give back. Because when you get to where you're going, and I know all of you are going to be successful, I'm going to read about you all, whether on the cover of the Washington Post, Black Enterprise, Fortune, you're all going to be there. But remember, you didn't do it by yourself. By the grace of God, by this lovely staff here, and these people here, they got you. So whenever you get, don't forget to give back. And give it back, I'm not talking about write a check for $1 million, even though I'm sure Dr. Israel will take a check for $1 million. But sometimes it's just smiling. Smiling at that teacher over there that won that award every day. Talking to a stranger and saying, how you doing? Talking to some of your classmates coming behind you and say, hey, look what? You're going to make a difference. Because let me tell you one thing, and I keep this with me all the time. What do they say? If God be for us, who can be against us? And so, you know, what I think about giving back, I don't know any of you all, but I'm going to give you something back, okay? Just a token. So, receive right. With that, I want to just remember everybody here is the one. And I also want to tell you this. You're going to be periods, sometime you're going to be down, you're going to be discouraged. But let me tell you about this. When you feel like a 0, get on your knees and pray to the 1, because he's the one. And for all you rest of you folks out there, not only have a good weekend, but have a happy Father's Day and celebrate it. And thank you for being here today.
I just want to say to Dr. McCurry, we want to, on behalf of the class of 2021, I would like to present to you with this gift bag.
Thank you very much.
This is just a small token of our appreciation and the appreciation of our students, and we want you to have that and keep that in remembrance of us.
I will
All right?
do that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Also, where's my little green envelope? Principal never get anything. Nobody never come up here and say thank you to the principal. Never, nothing. Oh! It's just a blank envelope, nothing's in it. you know. Thanks. I'm sorry. I get a little emotional when I get gifts. I'm sorry. All right, so this is the time that you all been waiting for. It's the conferral of the diplomas. So we can see our graduates come on stage and take their walk. So because we're following COVID-19 protocols, we won't do a lot of handshaking and hugging and kissing like we used to do. So, you know, you guys can just stay there. So what's going to happen is you guys are going, when your name is called, you're going to come up on the stage. I'm going to be over here at the end. I'm going to give you your diploma and your gift bag. You're going to take your picture, go down the steps and take another picture by yourself, and then you'll come back to the seat and we'll call the next person. Okay? So, let's go.
All right, here's the moment that you all been waiting for. You ready? All right, first person, Ms. Jamala Clark. Paris Murkison. Ms. Amira Parks. Mr. Justice Rosser. Mr. Noah Sharp. Go ahead, Noah. Mr. Kyrie Turner. And Mr. Rasef Wright.
All right, one last round of applause for our graduates. So now we're going to have our closing remarks. I want to call up our CEO, Dr. Mendoza Davis. She is the person who is very instrumental in making sure that I have all of the resources and things that I need in order to facilitate, everything that we do for the students and the staff. And I like to refer to her as the lady with the skills that pays the bills. All right? So with none other, Dr. Mendoza Davis. Come on.
Thank you, Dr. Israel. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, class of 2021. Let's clap it up for our graduates. In the words of our beloved namesake, who is clearly smiling down upon us today with this beautiful day on Juneteenth Eve, we always delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but we rarely admit to the changes it had to go through to achieve that beauty. This afternoon, we heard some stories and some reflections from our scholars, from our young people here today. And in true Miss Mendoza fashion, I started out my career in education as an English teacher, and I'm always a teacher first. I want to invite everybody here this afternoon, our students, our parents, our families, our friends, our esteemed guests, to come into a space of reflection and take stock along with our young folks here today. What decisions and choices did you make to get you here to this point? Because you were going in one direction, and especially here at Maya, we know that the journey is not linear, right? Conventional thinking says that to get from point A to point B, you have to just do it in a straight shot. We know that's not true, and that's why we really work so hard to support our students and meet them where they are, as one of our student speakers said this afternoon. What choices and decisions got you here? What tools will you take from what you learned here at Maya, from your teachers, from Dr. Israel, from our counselors, from our staff, from your families and those who've imparted wisdom and goodness into your souls? What tools will you take with you? What will you put into your toolbox? And how will you use those tools to get you to where you want to go next? Tools, tools, tools. Sorry, Dr. V, but you just had such an interesting story. And so look at Dr. V's toolbox, right? Along the way, he's built his toolbox. What are you taking in your toolbox from your time at Maya, and how will you use it? And to echo what Dr. V said and some of the other speakers who shared there this afternoon, how will you use your gifts, which you came to us with? You just needed a little bit of love and support to help you tap into those gifts. How would you use those in service to others? How will you use those to make a difference, to make the difference? In the way that the people who are sitting here made a difference in your life today, the people who are sitting behind you have made a difference in your life over its entire course. What will you do to make a difference and serve others? I want to just end, because I know that the food is calling us, and say that we will always be your Maya family, and we will always be here. I don't know if you know it, but Maya this fall will actually celebrate its 25th anniversary. We have been serving students, scholars, families in the District of Columbia for a quarter of a century, and we are not planning on going anywhere. So if you need to talk, if you need to check in, if you need a helping hand, if you need a reference, if you need any of those things, we'll be here waiting for you to help you in any way. And I think most excitedly to witness the greatness that is to come. So with that, I wish you joy on this momentous occasion, and I wish you the wisdom to continue making the decisions that are right and the choices that are right for your lives and for your dreams. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Mendoza Davis. All right, so at this time, would all the graduates please stand? By the power that's invested in me by the See Forever Foundation and the CEO of Maya Angelou Public Charter Schools, at this time, I officially say you guys are the class of 2021, and you are officially alumni at this point. So you may turn your tassels over. You guys have graduated. Congratulations. Let's give it up for our graduates. You guys can go ahead. Walk on now. Go ahead and take your walk down the red carpet, folks. Give them one last round of applause. Congratulations, folks. Yeah, excellent. Excuse me, Ms. Wade, Young Adult Learning Center staff, you guys can meet me over here. Okay.